Words, not actions. That's what we're looking for, is the actions that will help move and propel crypto into the future. Well, yesterday, a couple things happened. Everyone knows about the crypto summit. We're going to talk about that briefly, but there's something else that happened yesterday that I think also in conjunction with the summit will have a profound and lasting effect. And it's one more step towards widespread adoption of cryptocurrencies throughout the whole entire planet, but especially here in the United States. But before we get into that, remember, every single day in crypto is an adventure. And come along with us for the journey. Go ahead now and hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. Just a humble ask for you to hit the subscribe button, come along for the journey, and hit the like button now also. I'd also greatly appreciate it. But with that, let's get into it. And this is a really neat look right here. This is looks kind of like the Last Supper. Well, hopefully it's not the Last Supper, but you have Mr. Donald J. Trump there in the middle. You got Scott Bessent to his right hand, and you got David Sachs to his left. You got, look, Mr. Orange Tie, Michael Saylor, Mr. Bitcoin himself, and a couple of these professionals. Lutnick is up there. A couple other professionals and leaders in our industry that you might recognize. But we'll talk briefly about what happened at that crypto summit yesterday, because I wouldn't say it was a nothing burger, like a lot of people are saying. This is instrumental in laying the groundwork and foundation. Rome was not built in a day, and it wasn't destroyed in a day either, but it wasn't built in a day. And, you have to have some groundwork laid. Let's listen to Mr. Trump and Mr. David Sachs briefly here.
Just want to congratulate you all for being at the White House today, and a man who knows more about Bitcoin and AI and just about everything else than anybody, David Sachs. And I'd like to have you say a few words, David.
Thank you, Mr. Pei, because of your vision for that. We're also here because of your desire to make America great and to introduce a golden age in America, including for digital assets. And we're here because of your love of innovators, or as you might say, high IQ people. We know you love high IQ people. And we have about 30 of them here in the room today. These are the top people in the digital asset industry. And one other thing that I think that you love is legal fairness. This is an industry that was subjected to prosecution and persecution for the last 4 years, horrible lawfare, and nobody knows what that feels like better than you do. So we really appreciate the fact that you understand legal fairness and that you're always willing to fight for the right thing, for legal fairness. You never back down. You stand defiant, even in the face of an assassin's bullet. It's an inspiration to everyone in this room, I think. So it is an inspiration if you're in that room. If you really think about what's going on there, there's a lot of things that happened at that crypto summit, but people are like, Bitcoin didn't pump. Well, okay. Well, those are a lot of words yesterday. It's the actions that matter. But let's see what the words they talked about. They talked about a strategic Bitcoin reserve. It was officially announced, right? They're going to hold on to those 200,000, around 200,000. They don't even know how much crypto that they have right now. The seized Bitcoins, and that's going to start out the reserve. There's a supportive U.S. crypto policy shift, right? They're talking to these people, the Coinbase CEO, Robinhood, who else was there? Brad Garlinghouse from Ripple. I mean, you have a lot of these industry leaders that were there. They're going to talk about their woes from the last couple of years. They're going to talk about what they see as a future. Yes, they want to pave the way for their specific entity, but a good path for a lot of these people is a good path for crypto. Now, obviously, there's got to be oversight and regulatory actions being taken so that happens, but they really just want a clear picture of what the regulatory framework is going to look like from the United States, and they're going to help shape it. So they also did one other thing. They differentiated between Bitcoin and other digital assets, and there's a dedicated Bitcoin reserve separate from that broader stockpile that they talked about. It was mentioned ADA, Solana, and XRP, Ethereum, and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is truly the digital gold in this reserve. But I think there's a place for these other cryptos. But I'm still a little skeptical, to be quite honest. It's like XRP is an entity. Silver, gold aren't entities, but XRP is a company. Bitcoin is not. And that's what really separates it from the others. Now, I'm not dissing on XRP or Solana. They all have their place. But it is slightly different. XRP to me is the means to transact. Bitcoin is more of a digital gold. It's an asset. But what's the one thing that I think happened yesterday that a lot of people are overlooking that will have really profound effects on the future market? And that's that the OCC clarified bank authority to engage in certain cryptocurrency activities. Now, you remember a couple of weeks back, the SEC repealed SAB 121, and SAB 121, basically took away the bank's ability to custody crypto. But that's one regulatory authority over banks. Banks have significant amount of regulatory authority. So I'm going to talk about this just briefly, but we're going to go into what has to happen
What has to happen for banks to start custodying your crypto? And why is that important? Because everyone, just about everyone, has a bank account. And if they can hold crypto in their bank account, it becomes a little bit more safe, a little bit more easy, a little bit more widespreadly adopted. I don't know if widespreadly is a word. I don't think it is, but I like to make up some stuff once in a while. That being said, let's take a look at what happened here. They said the OCC published an interpretive letter in 1183. I'm not going to read this whole thing, but basically it talked about the bank's right to custody certain stablecoin activities and participation in independent node verification networks such as distribution ledger are permissible for national banks and Federal Savings Association. Basically, they're saying that the banks have the ability to custody these things, but they have to make sure that they have strong risk management controls in place to support novel bank activities as they do for traditional ones. So they're going to make sure that, they're going to leave it up to the banks. You got to make sure you have proper risk management in order to do these things. And if you don't, it's going to be your butt, basically. But that's one of the many regulators that regulate banks. So what has to happen for banks to start custodying your crypto? And I really thought about this. I engaged with Grok and ChatGPT and asked it some questions and came out with three main points. So, we talked about this letter, the comptroller that issues their letter. What has to actually happen? So I looked at three main points: clear and consistent regulatory guidance, right? In the last couple of years, we didn't have clear and consistent regulatory guidance. We had prosecute first and ask questions later, until they, found something wrong with it. They just didn't like it, right? I mean, you can argue with me all day on that, but it wasn't clear. We can probably agree on that. It wasn't clear and consistent regulatory guidelines. Secure technological and operational infrastructure. Secure, right? The people that are going to use it, if it's going to be on banking systems and it's widely adopted and it's widespread, you see what I did there? It has to be, you have to be secure. And it has to be able to operate consistently. Talent acquisition and staff training. These banks need people that know about crypto. They don't know about crypto, or they might not know enough about crypto. They're going to need to hire experts in the field of blockchain, crypto risk management, digital security, things like that. There's a wide bunch. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but they still require comprehensive regulatory clarity from the SEC, the OCC, and the FDIC, right? Is FDIC going to insure these things? I don't know. So on compliance, classification of these assets, stablecoin issuance, and deposit protection to mitigate regulatory uncertainty. All right. So, banks must invest in secure custody technology. They probably don't have this stuff right now. So it's not like you can just send your crypto to your banks right now. They probably won't know what to do with it, nor will they have a wallet address for you to send it to. Robust cybersecurity measures. Yep, got to have that. Operational processes to manage crypto-related risks safely and effectively. God, the risks are big that they got to take, and they've got to figure that out. They need to recruit, like we said, blockchain and crypto experts, specialized training, and they have to have management to look over all these things and to deliver these services. So all in all, the crypto space, the framework is being laid. And what's really exciting, at the very same time that this is all being done, there's a lot of other things in the macroeconomic world that are happening that are very, very bullish long-term. Maybe not next week, maybe not next month, but long-term this year that's shaping up. God, looks like it's like the perfect storm of things that are going to happen. Let's just take a look real quick. Bitcoin, let's do little drawers. I think it hit a double top, broke below the neckline, came back up on good news, came down, up. It's kind of wiggling around here. It's going to bounce around probably in this range for a little while. And hopefully it just bounces around that range until real action is taken. And the action is, people got to buy Bitcoin for the price to go up. People got to buy Ripple, XRP. People got to buy Solana for the price to go up. There has to be pressure on the price. And the United States announcing a Bitcoin strategic reserve is the first pressure on the price. Now they haven't announced that they're going to buy anything yet. It's got to be a net neutral event for the taxpayer. But other countries, you don't think they're doing the same thing? You don't think China's looking at us and going, God, we need to do that. We probably should do that. They're already doing it. I guarantee you. I can't guarantee that, but I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice. Nothing I say here should be taken as that. It is all for entertainment purposes, yada, yada. Read my disclosures below. But they're more than likely doing these things. Russia, China, all the European countries, a lot of like Germany is looking at doing it. And remember, they're the ones that dumped last summer that made Bitcoin drop in the short term and a lot of cryptos go down. But they're going to buy it back at a little higher price more than likely because they messed up, dummies. All right, so look, sorry if you're German. That just was, they probably should have held on a little longer. But their laws and rules might not have allowed them to do so. So I'm not saying they're dumb. I should take that back. I'm probably not going to edit that out either. So look, M2 money supply going up. More money, less problems for crypto. More money, less problems for crypto. Dixie, the DXY dollar was weakening and it strengthened yesterday. It liked what it saw in a lot of things, but overall the dollar's come down a little bit. The strength of the dollar comes down. Strength of the dollar comes down. What's next? Unemployment came out. Unemployment came out a little underwhelming yesterday. I didn't have that up here, but if I look that up, unemployment came out a little underwhelming. There wasn't as much. There's more unemployment than was forecasted. There's some mixed data on the unemployment, so I don't want to go too deep in that. But that's good for what? Dropping of the rates. And this year when we started out, they were saying there's going to be one rate cut. And now we're looking at, how many? It looked like three. Well, this first one doesn't look like March. This used to be a 97% chance that there was going to be no rate cut in March. Now there's a 12% chance there's going to be a rate cut. I don't think we're going to get a rate cut in March unless something happens between now and the 19th that's significant. May 7th, 50% chance of a rate cut. You go into June, it's almost guaranteed. July, September, October, and then December. By the end of the year, this Fed CME Rate Watch predicts that there's about a 31 chance of, or let's say 31, 23, that's 53, like a 65% chance we're going to get 75 to 100 basis points of cuts. Now, this chart will change over time if the situation changes. And I do believe the situation is going to change. I think there's going to be more unemployment. I know the labor market's tight right now, tighter, but I think that's going to loosen up a little bit. And when I say loosen up, it's going to be harder to find work. There's going to be more people that are unemployed. Why? Well, we're going through a transitional phase. We're moving away from government jobs and moving towards the private sector. There's going to be a little bit of uncomfortability in there. And that's a good thing long-term for our nation. It's a bad thing short-term, which is going to cause money to be cheaper. Long-term rates like T-bills and mortgage-backed securities are going to come down. More than likely, not financial advice. This is my guess, my best guess looking at the data. But long-term rates are going to come down. Trump is forcing the Fed's hand. The tariffs are not about, they're about fentanyl. You can call that. That's the reason he's imposing it. But it's about forcing the Fed's hand to lower rates, because that's what's going to pull us out of a recovery. The government, look, the government is spending way more money than it takes in. It's increasing debt. At some point, that's going to weaken and destroy the dollar unless someone had to do something about it. Sorry for all you people that think the government is just full of money. But look, at the end of the day, we're going to have, more than likely, Fed's going to lower rates. M2 money supply is going to go up. That money is going to flow into crypto because by then there's going to be better regulatory clarity, better framework, better understanding of what will get you in trouble and what won't. There's going to be more competition for your crypto in your banks. And then at that point, the Fed's going to have lower rates, and and I believe that crypto is going to blast off probably third or fourth quarter. Not financial advice. I think we're going to be in a range trading, maybe dip down below 70 again. First time in a long time. It might bust down because there's not, people are getting impatient, scared, whatever. But for me, I see this as an incredibly bullish outlook for crypto. Incredibly bullish. Probably have, again, not financial advice, but I'm looking at one of the biggest booms. There's some big booms, but very big boom as far as dollar volume into crypto, maybe third or fourth quarter. I don't think it's going to come as soon as the second quarter. A lot of things got to get worked out. Trump talked about August timeframe to get a bill to him from Congress, but I am very, very bullish in the near term this year. So that's all I got. I hope you got some value out of this. I'm super excited. Let me know what you thought down below in the comments. With that, I will see you next time.